Well, why don't we go ahead and get started? My name is Cameron Jackson, and I'm the board president for the Daybreak Community Association. In my position here, I'm actually a developer-appointed member of the board, and I'm also a Daybreak resident of many years. So I wanted to welcome everybody to the annual meeting this evening. Before we get to some introductions, first item of business is that we need to establish quorum. So for that, I'm going to introduce Cindy Spillane, our executive director for the association.
Thank you, Cameron, and I second his welcome and thank you all for taking your time to spend with us this evening. As you can see on the screen, we would have needed to have 2,264 proxies or those present. We did not reach quorum. However, as there is no business taking place, we may move forward with the presentation of the rest of the meeting.
Great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and ask the board members who are joining us this evening. A few board members had some scheduling conflicts and weren't able to join us this evening, but for those that are, I'm gonna, as I see them on my screen, I'm gonna ask them to introduce themselves. So Katie, why don't we start with you?
Good evening. Hi, everyone. I'm Katie McDermott. I am also, like Cameron, a DECLA appointed non-voting member of the board. In my day job for Larry's Miller Real Estate, I work on the design team and happy to be here tonight.
Great. And Mark.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Hansen. I've been appointed as a resident non-voting member of the board, and my term is up tonight.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. We'll have some news on our new board members. But before we get to that, what is next? I don't see any of the other board members that have joined us yet. Cindy, have you seen them yet? I don't think so. Okay, great. All right, what's next?
Okay, so we now have our first round of raffle prizes. So we had a lot of great sponsors for this meeting, and so we've broken it up into 5 different segments of raffle prizes. And if you registered for this meeting before 5 p.m. today, your name was entered to win these prizes. And if you win, we will be showing the winners' names from our basket that we'll be drawing from, and I will be sending you an email to schedule a time to come pick up your prize if you win. So for this round, we have a carry-on luggage suitcase from Aeroscape. We have a Bluetooth record player donated by Brightview, a gift basket from Xander Real Estate, and a $20 Target gift card from CenturyLink. And so Carrie Barrett, our administrative manager, will be doing the raffle drawing this round.
All right, so we are going to start with the carry-on luggage. So I've got the raffle basket here with all the names for everyone that registered. So our first winner is Craig Harris. Show that. I think you can kind of see it. So Craig Harris, congratulations on the luggage. Our next winner for the Bluetooth record player is Arlene Walter. Okay. For the Xander gift basket, we have Chastity Ramos. Let's see that, kind of. Here we go. And the $20 Target gift card goes to Thomas Young. There you go. Congratulations.
Okay, so congrats to all those winners. And like I said, we will be emailing you tomorrow to schedule a time to come pick up your prizes. And so the next thing on our agenda is that we have some messages. We have a message from Cameron Jackson, our Board of Directors President, and then a message from Chief Carr, the Chief of Police for the City of South Jordan. And so these messages were pre-recorded, and they will also be uploaded to our YouTube channel after this meeting, so you can watch them again if you would like.
Hey, Sydney, before we go there, one thing really quick, if we could. I know that a number of residents submitted questions before the meeting, and we have a pretty extensive list of Q&A where the board and the management staff have gone through and answered those questions. And so I thought it might be good to just post those in the chat so that the residents could just peruse that as we go through the meeting, because if you were planning to ask a question at the end, chances are your question may have already been answered in the Q&A. So here in just a minute, when she can, Sydney will post that in the chat, a link to that, and you can take a look at that and see if your question has already been answered. I just want to make sure we got that in there. Thanks. Continue.
Great suggestion, Cameron, and that's why you're the board president.
Yes, thank you. So I just went ahead and posted that in the chat, and like Cameron said, the list is pretty extensive. It's about 12 pages. And so if you don't see your exact question, it was probably grouped together with a similar question because we received a lot of similar questions in there. Okay, and so now we will start with our first video.
Hi, my name is Cameron Jackson, and I was recently appointed by the developer as the president of the Daybreak Community Association. I've actually been a resident of Daybreak for about 14 years and been involved in the development of Daybreak for a little over 15 years. And so I'm really excited about what's going on in Daybreak right now. There's been a lot of changes, as you're probably aware. And so I wanted to touch on just a few highlights from the current year and provide you with a bit of a preview as to what to expect for next year. On the development side, many of you are probably aware of the change in ownership of the remaining Daybreak development land. It changed hands from Varde Partners over to Larry H. Miller Real Estate. As an employee of Larry H. Miller Real Estate, we are completely thrilled to continue on with the legacy that has been created here in developing really one of the finest master plan communities in the country. In addition to the transition of ownership, we launched Cascade Village, which is a new village of homes over in the Upper Villages that launched earlier this summer. In addition to that, we began work on the water course, which is going to be a fantastic amenity, perhaps even better than Ochre Lake, over in the Upper Villages. And there are a number of additional parks and amenities in the Upper Villages that got started this year, and there'll be even more that will be announced next year. On the community association side, we've just completed the extensive planning and budgeting process for 2022 and beyond. And I'm excited to say that it's the first time in the history of Daybreak, and I've served on this board for over 10 years, it's the first time that there will be a zero increase in our association dues. And I really have to credit that to a couple of things. First of all, the Budget and Finance Committee, which is led by residents, as well as the association staff here, have worked many hours in combing through the budget, looking for efficiencies, looking for ways that we can improve the way that we manage and maintain the community. So I would credit their work for that, as well as the number of new homes that have been built in Daybreak. So and as many of you know, there were about 800 homes that closed, new homes that closed in the community during 2020, and during 2021, we're probably going to end up around the same number. So a lot of new residents that have moved in, whose dues are helping to offset the cost for running this association, coupled with the great work that the team here with the HOA does to really get us there. Before you get too excited, I don't know that that will always be the case, that it will be a zero increase, but we were able to see that happen this year, which is great. Some parts of Daybreak are now almost 17 years old. And so one of the things that we'll be focusing on in this next year's budget are a number of needed repairs, replacements, and enhancements of certain areas within the community. One of those areas that I think a lot of people will be really excited about is the trees. So we, as the association maintains over 10,000 trees throughout the community. And we do enjoy a fairly low mortality rate. Most of the trees that get planted do survive, but there are some that don't. And so one of the things that we did is we actually tripled the allocation in the budget this year that's going towards tree planting and replacement. And so we're really excited about that. We think that's going to be a big boost to some of the parks and open spaces throughout the community for this coming year. We've also heard from many residents about the need for improved communication. That is an ongoing piece of work that the association staff is always working on. We'll continue to look for ways to improve that. And I guess what I would ask of my fellow residents is to look into the communication channels that we have that do exist. So be checking the website, look at our social channels. We have a number of social media channels where we are posting information on a regular basis, where you can find out about, new things that are happening in the community and policies and all those sorts of things. So please do check out the channels that exist, but I know that that will be an area that we continue to focus on and work to improve. With the growth of Daybreak, we're now, over 8,000 homes within the community. So we're almost like a small town. And so there's a lot of people here and there's a lot of moving parts to what goes on here. And so that will always be a constant need that we'll need to continue to look at for improvement. I want to take a moment to thank all the residents who give of their time by serving on our various boards and committees. We really couldn't do it without them, and having their eyes and ears throughout the community where they're seeing issues or problems, or they're just listening to their neighbors about, the kinds of things that people would like to see happen in the community. I want to thank those residents who give of their personal time to serve and who really help us make good decisions and make the right decisions about different things that happen throughout the community. We're also hitting a time now where we actually have 2 members on our board of directors, 2 non-voting resident members whose 2-year terms are up. And we'll be announcing during this meeting the appointment of 2 new non-voting resident members to the board of directors. Thank you very much, and we're excited about what's to come here in Daybreak.
Hello, I'm Jeff Carr. I'm the police chief here in South Jordan, and I'm happy to join you at the annual Daybreak HOA meeting. Since 2015, when I was appointed as the chief, I've been to every one of those. I do miss the opportunity to interact with you, and I wish that we could be together in person. Last year, I talked to you about the importance of getting to know our neighbors and as the basis of Neighborhood Watch, and how important that is as a crime prevention tool. In 2020, the crime rate in the nation went up, and in South Jordan, it inched up as well. However, South Jordan is still one of the safest communities in Utah, in Salt Lake County and in Utah. There are some things that we can do that I think we can do better. In June, we had 10 vehicles that were stolen in South Jordan. 9 of those vehicles had the keys left in them. That's frankly unacceptable. We, as a community, we can do better than that. And so I urge you to make sure that we're doing some very simple things. We also continue to have items stolen from vehicles that are left unlocked. I'm convinced that we could reduce our vehicle burglaries in half if we would do just a couple of real simple things. First of all, lock our cars. We have to do that. Secondly, we have to make sure that we're not leaving items in plain sight in our cars. So if we lock our cars and we take those valuable items out of our cars, we're going to be a lot more successful. Just this year, we've had computers, guns, wallets, purses stolen out of unlocked vehicles. We can do better as a community. Also, remember to keep your garage doors closed, even during the day when you're there, when you're home, or you're working in the yard. It only takes a few seconds for somebody that's driving through the neighborhood to see an open garage and take a bicycle or other valuable out of your garage. So when we take a defensive posture, we can reduce crime. Soon the city will have their annual Light the Night event, holiday event. And I want to suggest that we use that slogan to light the night in our city, in the sense that when we leave our porch lights on, we leave our garage lights on, it can help deter crime. Sir Robert Peel, the father of modern policing, said in 1829, the police are the only members of the public who are paid to give full-time attention to duties which are incumbent on every citizen in the intent of the community welfare. The quote speaks to the partners we must be if we're going to be successful in crime prevention and reduction. We all have a part to play. I'm honored to serve as your police chief, and I want to make sure that we provide you the service that you, as our residents, deserve. We have to do that as a partnership. I thank you for your support that you've provided to our police officers. They feel it, they appreciate it, and I'm always available to answer any issues or concerns that you have. Thank you.
Okay. So now we are going to continue along and we're going to do some more raffle prizes. So for this round, we have a Ring video doorbell from Larry H. Miller Real Estate, 3 Cutbot vouchers from Cutbot, a $50 Home Depot gift card from Elite Grounds, and a $25 Visa gift card from Mountain America Credit Union. So I will turn it back over to Carrie Barrett to do our next drawing.
All right. So the Ring video doorbell goes to Josh Kudra. I don't know if you can see that very well. So congratulations to him. The 3 Cutbot vouchers, if I can get it here, go to Emma Lindsay. All right. The $50 Home Depot gift card goes to Michelle Main. All right. And the $25 Visa gift card goes to Susan Wayment. All right, congratulations.
Awesome. Congratulations to all of our winners. And next we have a few more messages. So we will now have some pre-recorded messages from the Mayor of South Jordan, Don Ramsey, and the Director of Live Daybreak, Dan Rogerson.
Good evening, my friends. My name is Dawn Ramsey, and I'm the mayor of the city of South Jordan. I look forward to the day that we get to do this meeting in person together again, but I appreciate the innovation and being able to do this electronically so that we can still all get together and you can get the messages from wherever you are in your own home or wherever you're viewing this. I am grateful again to be invited to participate and to just share a few thoughts with you as mayor of the city. We love Daybreak and appreciate what an important part of South Jordan this is. There's a lot of exciting things in the works, as there are every year. I'm very proud of the new fire station and police substation that we just opened on Lake Avenue. It's a big deal for our community, and it's a very big deal for the Daybreak community, because we needed that in order to keep our safety standards where they should be, to keep our response times in check. I'm very proud of that fire station and police substation and the public safety that will be ensured as a result of having that right there as Daybreak continues to grow. Our new elementary school, Aspen Elementary, we're excited to have that open. There's a fantastic principal. Susie Williams is wonderful. Appreciate all of the teachers and the parents and the fabulous students that we have at Aspen Elementary, and want to welcome them on board to the Daybreak community and to the South Jordan community. We're excited about some of the other good things in the works that are happening in Daybreak. As you know, the Miller Group took ownership of Daybreak. They purchased the Daybreak community, all of the land that isn't your own homes and your own land. Anyway, we really appreciate the chance to work with them as the owners of Daybreak. They've been fantastic to work with so far, and we look forward to accomplishing big things as Town Center is planned and built out, and as we really look at the economic drivers that we need to strengthen the Daybreak area, to provide jobs close to where people work, and amenities and opportunities. And want you to know that we're working together to try to make some great things happen that will be right there in the heart of the Daybreak community, that will benefit everyone in Daybreak and also across the city of South Jordan, and I believe the entire region. There are some exciting things in the works. We're excited for the new waterway that's underway on the far west side of town, the west part of Daybreak. Excited that we have phase 2 of Highland Park open. So we now have 20 full acres of city park that is over in the Highland Park area that's wide open. And hope you're enjoying the pickleball courts. I'm pretty proud of those new pickleball courts, and hope that you're loving them. I think you are. So if you haven't checked those out, please do. I just want to thank you. Thank you for your patience and your hanging in there over this last couple of years. There are any of you who are new, we get a lot of new people who are moving in. I hope that you look forward to living in Daybreak and being part of South Jordan City. Daybreak is an important part of our city, and by the time it's all built up, we'll end up taking up about 50% of the land space in South Jordan City. So it's important that we have a good partnership and a good relationship, and we want you to engage in the activities that are offered by the HOA and many amenities that are offered in Daybreak, and to also participate in the things that we offer as a city. As residents of the city of South Jordan, all of these opportunities are available to you, and I hope that you'll come out and join us for our Summer Fest. We're doing our Light the Night the first weekend in December. We have a lot of fun activities. We just did our Pumpkin Festival. We do something at Easter time, a spring fling. So anyway, we've got a lot of fun things, and I hope that you'll come and join us and participate and be proud to be a part of South Jordan City, and grateful to get to live in such a beautiful master planned community of Daybreak. And hang in there, be safe, give yourself grace and grace to your neighbors as we all continue to navigate and do what we can to stay healthy and safe, and to be united as a community. This is one of the 10 fastest growing cities in America, and also one of the top 25 best places in America to live. That says a lot, and it means that we don't have to lose our quality of life while we grow at a rapid pace. That's something that's very special that we have here in South Jordan. I'm very proud of the quality of life that we enjoy here, and fully committed to continuing to maintain that as we go forward and as we grow forward together. So thank you so much for spending a minute with me tonight, and best of luck to all of you, and enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Hi, my name is Dan Rogerson, the director of Live Daybreak, and you may know us from all the events and programs that we roll out to the community, including the Ladybug Release, Fizz Fest, the Food Truck Roundup, and of course, my favorite, the ginormous Pumpkin Regatta. After 2020, we're excited to gather again as a community, and we're able to roll out a couple of brand new events to the community, such as the Soapbox Derby, as well as the first ever drone show in the state of Utah with Ryan Shear. Although these events and activities are fun and make Daybreak an enjoyable place to live, the role of Live Daybreak in the community is much, much more. In addition to having a beautiful, walkable community with amazing parks, the founders of Daybreak felt that if the residents of Daybreak embrace some basic principles, Daybreak can truly be an incredible place to live. These principles include interpersonal connectivity, giving back of your time and resources, embracing culture and diversity, lifelong learning, and healthy living. A good example of how we implement these principles into our programming was our newest event in 2021 called the Dragon Boat Races. Residents gathered together and created teams, interpersonal connectivity. A contingent of residents met for months and volunteered to put on the event, giving back of their time and resources. During the event, we hosted relevant and culturally accurate music and dance performances, embracing culture and diversity. We coached the participants about the best way to navigate a dragon boat and gave a historical perspective on the sport, lifelong learning. And participants practiced, competed, and discovered a new way to exercise, healthy living. 100% of every registration went directly to a nonprofit, and we were able to hand a check to the Asian Refugee Foundation for $10,000, giving back. Through a contingent of community volunteers, Live Daybreak helps raise up to $200,000 each year for area nonprofits and foundations. In conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce and the Jordan Education Foundation, we also grant several scholarships to deserving area youth every year. Many do not realize, but we have an active teen council that helps the area youth with leadership skills, and they plan and execute a comprehensive year-round program to advance our mission in the community to area youth. Daybreak has a dozen residents who serve on the Daybreak Arts Council, and due to their hundreds of hours of volunteerism, Daybreak now has 30 permanent art installations throughout the community. We have also applied and received funds from Zoo Arts and Parks to help with our commitment to arts within Daybreak. In the past few weeks, you may have noticed we recently installed 10 new utility box racks throughout the community. Nearly every program or activity within Daybreak is resident-driven, resident-organized, and orchestrated. Some amazing residents dedicate literally hundreds of hours annually to help make Daybreak such a unique place to live. I'd like to personally invite you to come out to the concerts, to come to the food trucks, build a soapbox derby car, grab your partner and take a dance class, join one of the dozen community clubs that we have here in Daybreak, or take part in over 180 events and activities throughout the year. On behalf of everyone at Live Daybreak, I'd like to thank the community for supporting our mission to help make Daybreak the most desirable community, not only in Utah, but in the United States. We strive to make sure that you can always have another reason to love where you live.
Okay, we are so grateful to those leaders in the community for being willing to share those messages with us. So now we have time for some more prizes. So this next round of prizes, we have the first quarter of the Master HOA dues. And this was donated by Remax Realty and Lisa Radke. We have a $100 gift card for Costco from Aeroscape. And we have a $20 Walmart gift card to CenturyLink. So I will turn the time over to Carrie Barrett to do our next raffle drawing.
Okay. The winner for the first quarter Master HOA dues goes to John and Nancy Longhurst. So congratulations to you guys. And that where you guys can see it. The $100 Costco gift card goes to Matt Radke. There you are. And the $20 Walmart gift card goes to Barbara Lewis. All right, congratulations, guys.
Awesome. Okay, so the next item on our agenda is to meet the team. So we have many different team members throughout the community, and this is just a list of a few, but we are going to share our 2022 Meet the Staff video. And then following that, we will share the community management report.
The Daybreak Community Association worked hard this year to accomplish its goals and complete numerous projects. The accomplishments will benefit the more than 8,000 homes now in the community. The administration team worked hard scanning homeowner records throughout the year. Over 73 banker boxes of paperwork are now digitized. Garden plot reservations increased 135% over the 2020 season. Along with the Finance Committee, we created and presented the 2022 budget, which was adopted by the board. The operations team hired an operations manager and benefited service manager to support the department and better serve residents. We added community patrol to monitor common spaces and parks throughout the community. In response to the serious drought conditions in the state, landscapers made a great effort in water conservation. Throughout the summer season, the community was 32 million gallons below our water allocations, and it was the first time we've ever been under the allotted allocations. Park improvements included a change to gas fire pits, remediation of the dog park, updates to Orchard Park, and construction of new play equipment at Willoughby Park. Sunflower Garden received new ground cover, and the team will continue garden plot improvements in 2022. The new community app launched and helps residents easily submit requests for landscaping or maintenance needs. The facilities department installed new cardio and strength training equipment in the fitness center. Group fitness is led by a new supervisor who is able to return all programming back to normal capacities. Amenity access is now digital with the Kesey app, and guest passes are again available to residents. Aquatics started a pre-comp swim team and hopes to expand the program in 2022. Community Standards, along with the Design Review Committee, edited the Design Review Guidelines. The team processed more than 650 applications this year. We implemented an electronic approval process to expedite the design review process. Pre-meeting review consultations and updated application examples on the website have improved the quality of applications received. Compliance staff altered the Yard of the Month process to increase prizes and limit the number of winners. Residents can now vote on the grand prize winner each month. This past year, we sent out over 7,000 letters, and more than half of them were courtesy notices, friendly reminders, or thank you notes. Through this process, our team was able to assist residents in addressing compliance concerns to bring them to the community standard. The Communications Department finalized the Strategic Communications and Emergency Response Plans. The annual survey had more than 2,000 respondents, and the team used the results to guide annual goals and objectives. We also created a new resident magazine to mail to all new neighbors in Daybreak. On average, we welcomed around 150 new residents each month. The team also welcomed a familiar face as the executive director. Cindy Spillane joined the association in September, and we look forward to her leadership moving forward. Thank you to all of our team members who help serve residents and continually work to improve Daybreak.
Okay. So now we will return to our presentation. So now we have another round of raffle prizes. And as a reminder, by registering for the meeting, you were automatically entered into the drawing to win the raffle prizes. So everyone who is currently here on the meeting, your names have been entered into the drawing. So for this round, we have another $25 Visa gift card from Mountain America Credit Union, a $100 Visa gift card from CCMC, another $100 Costco gift card from Aeroscape, and a $50 Visa gift card from Elite. So I will turn the time back over to Carrie Barrett to do our next drawing.
Okay. The $25 Visa gift card goes to Larry Parkinson. See that there? All right, the $100 Visa gift card from CCMC, the management company, goes to Maria Gochis. I may be slaughtering all these names, but Sydney will be reaching out to you. The $100 Costco gift card goes to Lori Buys. See that there? And last in this round is the $50 Visa gift card. That goes to Sharon Cassidy. So congratulations to everyone on this round.
All right. Thank you, Carrie. And we still have one more round of prizes, so make sure that you stick around for that. And next, I will be turning the time over to our Executive Director, Cindy Spillane, for our committee recognitions.
Thank you, Sydney. I get the pleasure of talking about our committees and our volunteers. Cameron was very correct in his presentation about thanking you for all of the hours, hundreds of hours that all of you put into it. Our first committee that we're going to talk about is our compliance committee. This committee is an opportunity to work with our residents to help educate them on the rules and why we have them and how we can work together to make the community great. So we would like to thank Adam Willis and appreciate his many, many years. Oops, I'm going too slow apparently. And Chris Ronstadt. Both of them have fulfilled their current terms for the compliance committee, and we appreciate your help. On our design review committee, we have our John Meeder and Paul Hurst. We would like to thank all of them as well as our other committee members for their time and effort, because going through all of those applications, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of attention. And so all of the people I'm calling out tonight, they have completed their current terms. Some of them might volunteer to continue on, whereas others will move on and maybe serve on a different committee and provide opportunities for new folks to join the committees. Our next one is our Budget and Finance Committee. That is Ron Tucker, Cindy Costa, Amanda Morton, and all of them agreed to stay and serve another term if we would need them, and we most definitely do need them. Scott Sherman, we appreciate your service for 2 terms, and you will hear more about Scott in a little while. And our final committee, and save the best for last, I guess, is our Neighborhood Advisory Committee. And this committee truly gets to be involved and help figure out what projects are important, the priorities, and has an awesome opportunity to work with the board and the Budget and Finance Committee on planning what projects and when and how they're done. And they do that based on feedback that they receive from you, their neighbors. So we would like to thank Mike Zipka, Michelle Speckman, Chrissy Hayes, Rob Willardson, Travis Baker, and Zakia Richardson. All of them who have spent many years and hours on our various committees, and we thank you very, very much for your service and looking forward to continuing to work with you as we move forward. And now I turn this over to Cameron.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. Yeah, I just again want to echo our thanks to all those residents who put in so much time to serve their community, and they really do care, and they really do want, you know, Daybreak to continue to be the outstanding community that it is. And so I just want to again thank them all for everything that they do. In terms of our board of directors, every 2 years we have non-voting resident board member seats that turn over. So we give, you know, many different residents an opportunity to sit with us on the board and be a part of our meetings, be a part of the decision making. And I know that, you know, having served on the board over the years, I've served with many residents who have done an outstanding job, and their insights and their points of view are invaluable to us. We don't ever, and I tell each new board member when they're, you know, interviewing to become a member of the board, I tell them this, which is we don't ever make a decision as a board from a voting standpoint without talking to our board members and asking for their opinion and what they think. You know, the voting aspect of it is really just a technicality. It's something that we have to do, but we make our decisions as a board, and we seek to build consensus. So I want to recognize our two outgoing resident board members, Sylvia Anderson and Mark Hansen, both of which have served for their 2-year terms, and their terms are up. Sylvia comes from Springhouse Village, the 55+ neighborhood over in the Upper Villages, on the Upper Villages west side of Daybreak. And Mark Hansen is a longtime member of Eastlake Village. Mark, as well, has served on a number of the other committees that Cindy just walked us through, and has given many hours of countless service to the Daybreak community. And so I want to again thank both of them for their service and for their time. You see on the screen here, they get this cool award right here that you see on the screen. So unfortunately, because we're not in person, I can't physically hand them their award, but we will do that at a later time. So Mark and Sylvia, thank you so much for all that you've done. We really appreciate it. Mark, since you're with us, if there's anything, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if there's anything just really quick that you'd like to say in terms of, you know, what your time on the board has been like, or anything like that, I thought I'd give you just a minute if you'd like.
Okay. It is always an honor to serve and on any of the committees, and especially on the board of directors for the HOA. The feeling of camaraderie and the desire to make Daybreak an even better place to live is common to all of those, and I really appreciate the opportunities that I've had to serve.
Great. Thank you, Mark. Okay. Next slide, please, Cindy. So with that, we would like to introduce our two new resident board members who will be joining us for the beginning of their 2-year terms. So first, I want to introduce Scott Sherman, who lives in Founders Park. Scott is a longtime member of the Daybreak Budget and Finance Committee. So he is very, intimate and into all of the numbers that go into our annual budgeting process. I would have to say that Scott, along with the rest of the Budget and Finance Committee, played a big part in this year's budgeting process and getting us to a point where, for the first time ever, we were able to create a budget that had a 0 increase in the monthly dues. I've known Scott for a few years, and I know that he cares deeply about Daybreak and this community, and we're looking forward to having him join us on the board of directors. So welcome, Scott. Our second member is Jean Wright, who is a resident of Garden Park Village, which I think this will be the first time that we've had a Garden Park resident on the master board, which is great. Jean has lived in Garden Park for a number of years and has been involved with that board as well prior to joining us on the Daybreak master board. So we want to welcome Jean as well. So as you I kind of always do this, but these terms come up every 2 years. But if you have a desire to serve either on a committee, there's a lot of committee positions that Cindy just ran through, and then of course we've got our board positions. So if you have a desire to serve, or if you really just want to dig in and kind of understand how the HOA works and how budgets and costs are arrived at and how they decide when they fix things and all of that kind of stuff, we invite you to contact the management company or stop by the office over on Soda Row and ask how you can get involved. So thank you very much, and look forward to our new board members joining us.
Okay, so now this is time for our resident comment period. And so, like we mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, we had a lot of great questions submitted beforehand, and those have all been answered. And I posted a link to that document in the chat. And a lot of the questions that we had were repeat questions. And so if there is a question you have, it is possibly on that document, so we suggest you take a look. But if you feel that there is a question that we haven't answered on there, or a question that comes up right now, we'll have a few minutes to answer those questions. And so we'll give you a minute or so to type those questions into the Q&A box.
I feel like we should have some of that Jeopardy music or something, right? Hey, Sydney, can you tell if anybody is typing?
I cannot. I only get the questions once they come through. And so we did just have a question come through asking if the fire pits are open.
I can fill that for you, Sydney. So they're kind of in a soft open mode as we finalize some things with the city as far as ensuring that they're completely inspected and signed off on the city's end, just because it's a structural improvement. So as is right now, they're open, but it's just a soft launch. So one of the things we've encountered is that there's an emergency shutoff, and some folks have tweaked that a bit, trying to just push buttons. And what it will do is it'll turn off gas service to the fire pits if that is pushed, and we have to manually unlock it because it is a safety feature. So some folks think that's kind of fun to push those buttons, but we have to have that in place for just basically to ensure the safety of the fire pits. So soft open, yes, enjoy them, and we should have the formal opening in the next few days, hopefully probably by the end of November at the latest.
Thank you, Chris. And we had someone mention that they weren't able to click on the document that I entered into the chat. If for some reason you're not able to click on it, it is on our website under the meeting information tab, where the section where it says meeting documents, it's listed there. And we have some residents thanking Mark and Sylvia for their service. So thank you to them. And someone had asked if there will be instructions on how to use the fire pits. And yes, we are currently in the process of creating those signs to be made and then put onto the fire pits so that the instructions are clear and visible for everyone. Okay, we have a question. Do we pay insurance for the kayaks that are available to borrow? If so, how is it funded?
Chris or Cindy, I'm going to let one of you field that one.
I'll take that one. They're not severable from the overall master policy. They're part of the lake policy that is funded by the assessments that the residents pay overall for maintenance and upkeep of the lake. The insurance policies for the community fall under several clusters, and one of them is just overall liability, which is covered under that particular rider.
Okay, thank you for answering that question. And just as a reminder, if you do submit a question that we've already answered on the sheet, we will just move on to questions that we have not yet answered. And so we have another question asking how many security cars are there and what are their hours?
I'll field that one as well. So they're actually more of a community patrol for the common areas. Typically, they have what we would call summer hours, which typically run from April to basically tail end of winter to November 1st. And that is similar to our irrigation timings and landscape timings. And they are usually three, and there's three patrols on site. One for the lake, one for the overall community, and one for the parks. And they're broken up in hours, typically from 10 in the morning until midnight. And for Jody right now, there is one because we're in November and they're just doing general community patrol.
Thank you, Chris. And we have had some questions coming in about future development in Daybreak, and that is a question for the developer office. And right now we don't have a lot of answers on what will be going in there, but we will share when we do. So we have another question. Will the island ever be gated?
I guess I can field that one. That's unlikely, and I think gating is something that kind of really goes against the planning principles for Daybreak. So Daybreak was planned as a new urbanist community. And one of the key planning principles with that is connectivity, both in terms of vehicular traffic as well as pedestrians and bicycles. So that is an unlikely scenario.
Thank you, Cameron. We have some comments welcoming the new board members and welcoming Cindy. We also have a question asking when the Daybreak Direct app will be available for Android devices. And I can go ahead and answer this one. So we have been working diligently with our contacts, getting daily updates about this. The Google Play Store recently had a privacy policy update, so we are working on some logistics with them, but just know that we are in constant contact trying to really get the app launched on the Google Play Store because it is already available on the Apple Store. And so we are working on that daily to try and get updates and get that as soon as possible for our residents.
Hey, Sydney, I saw a question on there about dog poop, and I know that we put that in our Q&A, but I just wanted to take a quick second to just remind everybody, you are responsible to pick up after your own pet, whether it's a big dog or a little dog, somebody stepping in it, it's not pleasant. So we really, really encourage our residents to please be courteous to one another. Make sure you have a bag, take a couple extra when you're by there, because if your dog is like mine, it never goes potty by one of those stations. So have a few in your pocket. So we really do need to rely on one another to help pick up and take care of our pets. And I don't know that DNA is going to be something that we might be able to do, as it requires the owners of the dogs to provide their DNA. But that is a good suggestion that we can look into. Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack that, Sydney. I just wanted to share.
No, thank you so much for sharing that, Cindy. I feel like that is a common question we get, and we have been diligent in reminding pet owners to clean up after their pets. So thank you for addressing that. We have another question. What is the plan to address graffiti in the parks and lake area?
So I'll take that one. So as far as the cause of it, we know it is some teen boys. We believe they're 13 to 15 years of age. We have some reasonably good ideas who they are, but we haven't been able to catch them in the act. But this is one of those things, as Cindy was just commenting on, is one of those things where it helps if the residents keep their eyes open. We address the graffiti from an operational perspective and from the maintenance department specifically as soon as we're aware of it. They are actually to the point now where we're doing the patrols, and the maintenance department is actually patrolling that area on the Monday and Tuesday of the week. It's typically, it crops up over the weekend. These are kids that live in the community, and from what in years we can determine, they're doing this around 11 to 2 a.m. We have asked our community patrol to double their efforts on keeping eyes in the area, particularly around the bridges on Isla Daybreak, because they're transiting from one side to the other through there, and they're usually leaving some vandalism behind them as they go. So we are kind of keeping an eye on it. We've asked SJPD to keep an eye on it as well. We've been documenting the vandalism itself, so that if and when we can catch somebody in the act and tie them to it, we'll be able to tie them to all the other stuff we have as well. And I would pay the responsible parties once we track them down. We will track them down eventually. So it's just a matter of time. But it's a difficult thing to manage because it is late at night and it's dark. And the park is theoretically closed. The lakes part are closed. There shouldn't be people out there. So if you have rambunctious kids out there running around that you spot, let us know.
Thank you for that, Chris. And so as a reminder, if we do not get to all of the questions, we will be adding those to the Q&A sheet that we have already uploaded on the website. We will be editing it and re-uploading it with the additional questions so that you can look back at all the questions that were answered during this meeting and the ones that we weren't able to get to. And so I think we only have time for one more question as of right now. And
I can see something about the cat droppings. I don't know how I ended up with this side of the questions, but
I was gonna say that one.
Yeah, cats are the same as dogs, meaning if you have a cat, they're not to be roaming. You know, you need to have your pet under control at all times and on your property or on a leash. So if your cat runs, then we really need you to make sure that they are not causing damage to residents' cars by walking on them, various things like that. And they do have droppings as well. So if you do let your cat out and you're walking your cat, which I have seen on a leash, we do need you to pick up after them as well. So again, as I believe Sydney said, we only had time for one last question. The others are on the Q&A sheet or will be added. And it's great to be back. And I just wanted to thank everybody. And hopefully I get to see you in person soon. Feel free to stop by and say hello.
Yes, thank you so much, Cindy. And just to add on to what she was saying about cats, it goes for all pets. Please make sure that your pets are on a leash. We have seen a lot of pets wandering around Daybreak, and we don't want your fur babies to get lost or anything. So please make sure that you are keeping an eye on them with both their waist and also just keeping an eye on them with being on leashes and everything as well. So thank you so much to everyone who submitted questions either beforehand or during this meeting. And to kind of wrap things up, we will be doing one last round of raffle prizes. So we have another carry-on luggage from Aeroscape. We have another $100 Visa gift card from CCMC and a $100 gift card to Home Depot from Holmes Homes. And so Carrie will be doing our final raffle for us.
Okay, final raffle, carry-on luggage goes to Beth Belt. There's that. The $100 Visa gift card from CCMC goes to Justin Turner. And the final prize of the evening, $100 gift card to Home Depot, goes to Constance Weatherby. So congratulations to everyone, and look out for the email confirming the prizes from Sydney.
Okay, and I will pass it back to Cameron for our final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Appreciate it. Another great year at Daybreak. So we invite you again, as Sydney said, if you had questions and it didn't get answered, please peruse the Q&A online, or while it's still in the chat, grab the link. I think there were how many pages, Sydney? Was it 12 pages of questions, something like that?
Yes, and then when we add these, there will probably be about 14 to 15.
Yeah. So, and some of those are what I call the greatest hits of questions that kind of come up often. And so chances are, if you had a question, it's probably been answered in there. So please take a look at that. And again, we thank you for being with us tonight. And with that, we will adjourn our meeting. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you later.